Talk up, yeah. Welcome to Detroit, the Motor City streets, where the legends rise and the heartbeats meet. Podcast spinning tales of the 313, bringing that raw essence, can't you see?
It's totally a simulation. I was
Bro,
listening to
I'm feeling the spider there, the Dennis Rodman.
You like that? Okay, so you picked up on that.
Of course.
Nice. Okay, good.
Yeah, so you're a big Pistons guy. Hey, old school.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up. I went to a lot of Pistons games growing up. Probably more games than anything, like any pro team when I was a little kid. And I got to sit in some really great seats. And huge basketball fan. So, like, if you could rank my sports, it would probably be like football and then basketball. And baseball used to be in there, but I can't. I don't watch the MLB anymore.
Salary cap. Yeah.
Salary cap, and salary. How do I say this? A lot of those numbers are made up in any of these leagues, right? I don't like the way they develop talent in the MLB. They have a really bad, they do a really bad job of hyping up these prospects, right? You've got guys that end up making these mega contracts that were like, I don't know, undrafted guys that were signed, right? Like, there's no correlation between follow a guy in college, watch him go to the pros, kind of follow his career. The MLB is just so, it's different, man. There's no more Ken Griffey's.
Yeah. You know what? Because, we could talk this at any time. Baseball, basketball, I'm so down. So anyhow, baseball, their strategy is trending more towards like an international kind of product. So although we may not be seeing a lot of that promotion going on in the States and in Canada, I guarantee you in Korea, Shohei Ohtani is everywhere on every billboard, and every person in that Japan, everyone in that country, city, whatever, knows who he is and what he does for a living. Same thing with the Latin American baseball players. All those countries, the Dominican, they know who they know who Vladdy is. They know who my guy who just signed with the Mets there. His name escapes me. Whatever his name is there.
Juan Soto.
Soto, thank you. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Like shit like that, man. They'll rip that off the top of their head, no problem. So I think that, and even if you notice, a lot of the stars are more of an international background. So I don't know if that's the global connection that they're going for more so than the domestic, but I don't know. I don't have any Japanese friends or anything.
And I can dig that, man. I'm all about global sports. I mean, the NFL is pretty global now. I mean, look at Ziggy Ansah from the Lions years back. From Ghana, never played football, never even really knew what the sport is until he came over here and they put him on the field and he blows up. My whole point is, from college to the draft to the pros, the NFL is supreme at identifying talent. And the NBA used to be really good at that, but now this one and done, this G League, it's ruined it, man. I mean, long live the days where you had college dynasties for college basketball, right? Like the Duke days. You lived them. I know you're a basketball fan. You watched it all. That was the best college basketball that translated to the best pro ball. And nowadays, shit's pretty weak, bro.
Well, the product is so different now too, man. It was basketball. It was what you see on the street. It was crossovers. It was team ball movement. Now it's just pull up and shoot, man. Let's try to find that, and it's a slightly different game compared to what we're used to. And it doesn't appeal to me, man. The games are boring. There's no flow. I honestly don't even watch. I'm a Raptors fan. Firstly, they're not doing so great. Okay, they should be tanking, but they're winning. You know what? In Masai, we trust. Okay, we'll leave it at that. But the product that they're putting out there, man, it's not watchable. If it's they're inconsistent with their shots and just they can't play that game, and they've lost that kind of interior efficiency, toughness, defensive minded kind of thing they had going on when they run the championship. But in basketball, everyone knows you need a star, and Scotty's working his way there, but he's not there yet. So we'll see how this goes. Now we got Brandon Ingram locked in, just signed a contract extension. So
Yeah, how do you feel
very,
about that? You're talking about they should be tanking. They just signed the
yeah,
one player that every free agency or every trade deadline, he's rumored to be traded.
yeah. It's one of those ones where I gotta wait and see what the plan is. You know what? From the outside looking in, I see Scotty and I see RJ, and that dynamic is even super clean yet. And now you're gonna throw Brandon Ingram, who's he's like possible he could play the three, but he's more of a four, stretch four. He needs he needs touches, but he could shoot off movement and whatnot. But he's one of the primary ball handlers. So you got him, a guy who needs touches. You got Scotty now. You got IQ, who's supposed to bring the ball up. Like I just don't know how, and I'm interested to see how the offense is going to operate now with Ingram in there. Um, like is Pirtle going to slow him down even further? I don't know. It's hard to say. Not super crazy about the coach, but the guys seem to love him. So we'll see, man. In Masai, we trust. That guy has done some good stuff. He won us a ship. So it's blind
Yeah.
faith right now until the fucking wheels fall off, and then we'll see what's up. But yeah.
Well, you guys got an interesting fan base. I went to a game right after you guys won the championship, and it felt like a Raptors home game. I mean, granted, the Pistons were actually they weren't at an all-time low because last season I think was an all-time low, but they were pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
And it was pretty interesting and overwhelming to be there with. And I always loved, dude, Vince Carter, one of my favorite players, one of my
Yeah.
favorites. So
He put us on the map.
I'm down with supporting Toronto or the Raptors. There's not too many teams I hate in the NBA. Like I have like my hit list in the NFL.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams in the NBA that I can deal with, even when they're in their dynasty mode. Like I can show a lot of respect for some of those Laker dynasties or dude, the '90s Bulls. For as much as a Bad Boys fan as I am, I'm definitely not a Bulls hater.
Yeah. Which you think you would be, right? Based on
I
the
mean, you're
history.
conditioned to be. I mean, it's kind of like being a Colorado Avalanche fan if you're a Detroit Red Wings fan or if you live in Detroit. Like if you were, if you grew up in that era, part of those fights, I mean, that is intense. But I will say we have in our friend group, our friend Alex, who loves to be the contrarian. He loves to be the antagonizer. Of course, he's a Avalanche fan. He's a Notre Dame fan. He's. I mean, every group has to have that where like they love the team you all hate.
Yeah, otherwise it'd just be boring. Everyone would like everything. Yeah, you have to
Exactly.
have one guy, who can gloat or just get dumped on. Always have one.